All right, let's talk about AI. But forget all the crazy hype for a minute. Today, we're going to demystify this thing and look at it for what it is, a really powerful assistant for your work. We're drawing on this amazing workshop plan that's all about making anyone a pro at using these tools. So think of this as a hands-on tool lab, not some big hype rally. Ready? Let's jump in. I absolutely love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly frames what we're actually talking about here. So forget all the science fiction stuff about killer robots. The AI tools that we're using today, like ChatGPT, are basically just predictive language tools. They are phenomenal at guessing the next best word in a sentence, but they're not thinking. They're just autocomplete with a PhD. So the technical term you'll hear is large language model, or LLM for short. It drafts things, it organizes ideas, it makes suggestions, but here's the thing it doesn't have: authority, or consciousness, or the ability to provide genuine pastoral care. The most important thing to get is this: you are always the one who has to verify and approve the final product. It's an assistant, plain and simple, not the boss. Okay, so before we even think about unleashing the power of our new assistant, we've got to lay down some ground rules, some non-negotiables. And look, understanding the risks isn't about being scared, it's about being a smart, responsible, and effective user. So here are the big 4 things to keep in your head. Number 1, these tools can be confidently wrong. They will invent sources, make up facts, and do it with total conviction. It's wild. 2, privacy. This is huge. Anything you paste into a chat could be used to train the model. 3, copyright. Well, that is a very, very gray area right now. And finally, be on the lookout for sketchy AI apps that are really just designed to get their hands on your data. And that brings us to the golden rule. Seriously, if you remember nothing else from this section, remember this. If the information is too sensitive to forward in an email, like confidential notes or someone's personal details, then you absolutely positively should not be pasting it into a public AI tool. It really is that simple. All right, safety briefing is done. Let's get to the good stuff. Now, getting great results from an AI, it isn't magic, it's a skill. And one of the biggest insights from the source material is this: most AI problems are actually instruction problems. Just like in real life, clear leadership gets clear results. And this right here is a brilliant way to think about giving clear instructions. It's like a recipe for the perfect prompt. First, you tell the AI its role. Then, you give it a specific task. You provide the context and the raw materials or inputs. You add constraints like the tone of voice or a word count. You tell it what format you want the output in. And this is so important. You always end with a reminder that the final step is on you, verifying the facts yourself. And check this out. The difference a clear prompt makes is just night and day. A vague prompt, like write an email for volunteers, is like handing your assistant a crumpled napkin with a scribble on it. You're going to get something generic and pretty useless. But when you use the full recipe, defining the role, the task, the constraints, boom, you get a structured, targeted, and genuinely helpful output that's pretty much ready to go. Okay, so once you've gotten the hang of giving single, clear orders, you can start to build on that skill. Let's take it to the next level: training a specialized assistant that already knows your rules, which, believe me, is a huge time saver. You do this with something called a custom GPT. The best way to think about it is like creating a dedicated helper just for one specific job. You preload it with all your instructions about tone and style and formatting. That way, you don't have to keep repeating yourself in every single prompt. It literally becomes your go-to communications assistant or your personal sermon outlining coach. And what's really cool is you can make it incredibly easy to use by building in these conversation starters. You can see here, for a communications helper, you could have one-click buttons to handle your most common tasks. This isn't just about saving a few seconds of typing, it's about building a system for your workflow. All of this leads to the final, and honestly the most crucial point of this whole thing. The technology is getting better at a shocking speed. The capabilities are mind-blowing, but its fundamental role in our work doesn't change. It's an assistant, and you are the one in charge. This analogy from the source material it's perfect. The AI can be an incredible asset. It can do the research, draft the emails, summarize the notes. It can go out and assemble all the lumber for you. But you are the architect. You're the builder. You're the one who provides the vision, the integrity, the final quality check, and the human wisdom. You build the house. So let's end with this question. As these assistants get better and faster and more woven into our daily lives, where do we draw the line? What tasks, what decisions, what conversations must always, always remain fundamentally human? That's the critical question we all need to be asking ourselves, now and in the years to come. Thanks for watching.